Even though fear is a common human emotion that can be deeply wired in a person's subconscious or conscious mind, when you have a relationship with God, you are filled with love to the brim. And that love leaves no room for fear. Love is so powerful that it can drive away every form of fear. So for Daniel, when he got into Babylon as an exile, he was shining as a star. He served different kings for many years because his heart was full of love and compassion. For Daniel, there was no room for fear in him, only love for God and love for people. Now the king Nebuchadnezzar had had a dream, and his mind was so troubled, and he could not even sleep. So he summoned all of the magicians, sorcerers, astrologers, enchanters in Babylon to tell him. They were not to tell him the interpretation of the dream, but the dream itself. Wow, that must have been one of the most difficult situations that anyone will find himself in. That's what the wise men of Babylon were faced with. And the king's decision was, if they could not tell him the dream and interpret it, they will be cut into pieces and their houses will be turned into piles of rubble. On the other hand, anyone who could tell the dream, or if they were able to tell the dream and its interpretation, the king will give gifts, he will reward, and will give great honor for that. So, the killing of the wise men had begun. When men came to Daniel, they were sent to Daniel and his companions so that they too will be killed together with the wise men of Babylon. Daniel's story would have ended at this point if there was no intervention for him and his friends by God. But Daniel operated from the place of a love for God. Love for God, love for his friends, and love for everyone. And this love in Daniel's heart made him to be still and to know that he could trust God and believe him to show him just what to do. So Daniel walked up to the commander of the king's guard. So he spoke to him with wisdom and with tact. He just knew what to say, and he asked the king for time. He said to the king, please just give me time. We will tell you this dream. And he went back home, told his friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego so that they could plead for mercy from God concerning this secret, so that they might not be executed with the rest of the wise men from Babylon. Now, for you, this is an encouragement so that you will know that when you're full of love in your heart, there's no room for fear. And when there's no room for fear and just loving you, something will happen. No matter how a threat comes to you, no matter what kind of challenge will come to you, you will know just what to do. Daniel knew to go to God. And when he did, the secret was revealed to him in a vision. So when you know to go to God, the problem is solved because you operate from the place of love and not fear. So let love be your drive.